Audiobook Academy Biography presents J.R.R. Tolkien. Fantasy author J.R.R. Tolkien enjoys a cult following around the world. Author of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings trilogy, he is best known. An English fantasy author and professor, J.R.R. Tolkien was known for his work. As a child, Tolkien moved to England and attended Exeter College, where he received a bachelor's degree in English literature. He wrote The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings trilogy while he was a professor at Oxford University, and they were hugely successful. International acclaim and multiple Oscar nominations for the films based on these texts attest to their widespread appeal. Early years and family. Arthur Tolkien and Mabel Suffield Tolkien had a son named John Ronald Reuel Tolkien on January 3, 1892, in Bloemfontein, South Africa. Mabel and Tolkien moved to Sarhole, a rural hamlet in Birmingham, England, after Arthur died from complications of rheumatoid fever. In 1904, Mabel Tolkien died, and the Tolkien brothers were taken to live with relatives and in boarding homes, with the Catholic priest in Birmingham taking care of them. At Exeter College, Tolkien was awarded a first-class honors degree in Anglo-Saxon, Germanic, and Classical literature. World War I. During the First World War, Tolkien enlisted as a lieutenant in the Lancashire Fusiliers and served as a writer. He took part in the bloody Battle of the Somme but was eventually discharged from service due to illness. Edith Pratt was his wife when he married her, in the midst of his duty in the army. In 1920, Tolkien joined the faculty of the University of Leeds to continue his linguistic studies, and a few years later he was appointed to the Oxford University faculty. C.S. Lewis and Owen Barfield were among the members of the writing club The Inklings that he founded when he was at Oxford. Also at Oxford, during the process of graded paper A Hobbit was impulsively written down by him. The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings. Bilbo Baggins and His Adventures in the Hobbit, a 1937 fantasy novel by J.R.R. Tolkien, were considered children's books, though Tolkien would later say the book was never intended for children. Over 100 illustrations were also developed to aid in the story's development. As he worked on academic papers, Tolkien created the work that would become known as his masterpiece, The Lord of the Rings Saga, which was inspired in part by ancient European stories and had its own unique set of maps, lore, and languages. Tolkien's masterwork. The Fellowship of the Ring was released in 1954, followed by The Two Towers and The Return of the King in 1955 to complete the trilogy. The stories introduced readers to a diverse cast of fantastical characters, including wizard Gandalf and dwarf Gimli, as well as elves, goblins, and talking trees. Critics were out in full force, yet many reviewers and waves upon waves of readers flocked to Tolkien's universe, prompting the books to become global bestsellers, with enthusiasts founding Tolkien clubs and mastering his imaginary languages. Death. In 1959, Tolkien announced his retirement from teaching and published the essay and poetry collection Tree and Leaf as well as the fantasy novella Smith of Wootton Major during this time. Tolkien passed away on September 2, 1973, at the age of 81. He was survived by his wife Edith, who died in 1971. His 4 children survived him. Continuity and development. The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit are 2 of the world's most successful book series, with tens of millions of copies sold. Actors including Ian McKellen, Elijah Wood, Cate Blanchett, and Viggo Mortensen starred in Peter Jackson's award-winning films based on the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Martin Freeman played the role of Bilbo Baggins in a 3-part Hobbit film adaptation produced by Jackson that aired from 2012 to 2014. Christopher Tolkien, Tolkien's son, edited various unfinished works, notably The Silmarillion and The Children of Rin, which were published after his father's death. For the novel's 75th anniversary, Tolkien's original images were released in The Art of the Hobbit in 2012. Tolkien's fantasy universe continues to be popular, as seen by Amazon's announcement in November 2017 that it has acquired the TV rights to the book series. Fans will be thrilled to learn that the business wants to explore fresh narratives preceding Tolkien's The Fellowship of the Ring, with the potential for a spin-off series, thereby enticing them with the promise of a prequel to the familiar deeds of Bilbo Baggins, Gandalf, and the rest. The 2019 biopic Tolkien, starring Nicholas Hoult and replete with allusions to The Lord of the Rings, focused on the author's life. Thank you for listening in Audiobook Academy. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button for more content like this. See you in next video.